All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day today. I'm about to share my slides now. Before I start, could you please give me an exclamation mark in the chat box? I would love to see that. And I have two screens right now. I have screens from the Philippines. I also have some screens here right now from our folks from Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand. Could I please ask for an exclamation mark? Very good. I'm seeing that for both screens right now. All right. Thank you. Today's session is entitled Leadership in Time of Quarantine, the Art of Building and Growing Teams. Let me just do a quick technical check as well because we have two screens here. I'm seeing my screen share on Philippines screen. Can I also check our participants from Indonesia, Thailand, Japan, Malaysia, or whatever country we have in the house? Could you also please type? Can you get the letter S if you get to see my screen share? Also, okay, very good. So let's start the session. Today is going to be about leadership, and it's about growing and building your business, especially when we are in a very challenging time. It's a very rough time. It's a time of quarantine for many of us, at least for in the Philippines, for example, we have been, challenged in terms of our mobility. And so just a quick background of what I do for those who just jumped in into the screen. So I do a lot of motivational talks. A few years ago, I joined a reality TV show called The Apprentice Asia. And ever since that happened, I've been blessed and grateful to be able to share my stories about corporate world and about the entrepreneurship world. These are some of the clients that we've had in the past, and we take pride in doing digital marketing sessions. We do leadership sessions, public speaking, business writing, and the like. We've done our sessions not only in Southeast Asia, but as far as Buenos Aires in Argentina, as far as in New York in the United States. And we're very thankful because for the past 3 years, we've been having a very great partnership with Usana. And for that reason, we are also thankful for the opportunities that you have given us. If you're interested, we do a lot of webinars online, and this is available in my website, jonathanyabut.com/webinars. They're all 100% for free. They're about leadership, public speaking, business writing. We've started this as our way of giving back to the community since the pandemic started. And also, if you're interested, and I'm going to call out participants in the Philippines mostly who have a Viber account, please join our Viber community where we share daily career tips. And the reason why I'm asking you to join our Viber community is because I am going to give away some free tickets to our premium webinars, which is, by the way, also open to our friends from other countries in Thailand and in Indonesia, for example. My first giveaway ticket for today is Boost Your Confidence, happening on November 21 and 28. I'll be asking some questions later as an online contest. The first person that I see on my screen for Philippines on my Viber account, for Indonesia and Thailand on the screen on the Zoom chat box. I understand some of you may not be using Viber. Whoever gets to answer first, I'm going to give you a free ticket. And because a lot of here are leaders, I'll give you 10 tickets per winner. Can I get an exclamation mark if you're excited with that? We're very generous in this case. So 10 tickets. The second contest I'll be giving away is for our session, Advanced Techniques for Using Zoom, Google Meet, and Facebook Live. We are now on batch 2. So we do sessions on how to navigate the advanced confusing buttons of Zoom, for example. If you're interested to join that, I'll be giving away also 10 tickets for today's session. All right, all good? So I'm only going to be asking you a few things. Please participate actively by typing your comments in the chat box, participate in the poll, and ask a question if we have time later on. And here's my first question. Could you please type in the chat box? How are your people these days? Could you please type? Letter A, no change versus pre-COVID-19. Letter B, anxious and worried. Letter C, challenged, but coaching them beyond technical skills. Or letter D, optimistic that they will get through. All right. So I'm seeing some different responses. Some people are saying it's letter C. That's good. By the way, there's no right or wrong. Your goal is to acknowledge those feelings because we don't want you to bottle them up. All right. The key to self-improvement starts with self-awareness. If you do not agree that there is space and improvement for change, you won't be able to identify your next steps. Like sometimes I'm on letter B. I feel anxious and worried. I wake up in the middle of the night, uncertain about the future. But I also tell myself that my goal is to see it as a function of time. And therefore, I want to be optimistic that I will get through. Why am I sharing this, Team Usana? I'm sharing it because, as we all know, the COVID-19 is going to change how we lead people. We all know that. Number one, as leaders, we are no longer expected to equip the brain, technically. We also need to equip the heart. Can I get the letter H in the chat box if you agree with that? Which means no matter how good your people are in terms of sales, if they can't perform because they are concerned about their safety, about their families, or about their future, they won't be in their best shape. Number two, have you noticed this? Can I get the letter T in the chat box? We now communicate more in text messaging, emails, WhatsApp, Line, Viber, whatever it is, Facebook Messenger. And I hate text communication. This is me. And the reason for that is because it's inefficient compared to talking to someone face to face. Right? Have you noticed that? Which means when it comes to mentoring, there are going to be additional barriers in order for us to coach our people and let them be empowered on how they want to go about with their performance. You now have less frequent time to mentor or delegate. So sometimes that very moment is the moment that counts, right? Finally, number three, do you notice that decisions can't always be done together because we can't be with each other all the time, right? Depending on your location, some areas will not allow congregation of too many people in one place because of the COVID-19. Therefore, my question is, if you're a leader, if you're that coach, if you're that mentor, how far can you empower your people to make decisions on their own? Can I get the letter D as in decision? If you agree with this, right? These are the challenges that we face today in the time of COVID-19. And I'm asking you to embrace them, not reject them, because I want you all to be aware but not anxious. Could you please type that in the chat box? I want you to type that, please, to give me a commitment. I am aware, but I'm not anxious. Right? I am aware, but I'm not anxious. There's a difference, by the way, between the two. Being aware and anxious is similar to the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. Could someone please type in the chat box? What's the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat? I'm sure you are all sick and tired of having the thermometer placed in front of your forehead these days, right? Could you please type what's the difference, right? A thermometer just keeps on taking the temperature. What does that mean? It keeps on reacting, right? If it becomes 20 degrees, 30 degrees, it keeps on reacting. So we don't want to become the thermometer solely. What we want is to also become a thermostat. We don't just react, we also take control of the situation. Because remember, what the thermostat is not only to check the temperature, it also controls and brings back that temperature into the right equilibrium. It's 34 degrees, but the thermostat says it has to be 25. It takes command, it takes control, it steers the wheel. Team Usana, could you please type in your chat box, which one are you today as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor? Are you the thermometer or are you the thermostat? And I hope you are the thermostat. Every time you react to a situation that you don't like, I want you to remember this. I am a thermostat. Am I acting like a thermometer? Need to change, need to shift into a thermostat instead. All right. So today is going to be about three elements of leadership. And if I were to recall, right, we all are aware of what the elements of leadership are. Leadership is composed of number one, leaders are commanding, the ability to set goal, the ability to set respect, discipline, and directing a vision. Hey, coach, what's our vision for the next 5 years, 2 years, 6 months, 3 months from point A to point B? That's commanding. Leaders are equipping. You don't just instruct people what to do, you become their partners and you enable the possibilities based on what they want to happen. You provide support, you provide the tools, you provide the training and the mentoring that they need. And finally, leaders are influencing, right? They motivate, they challenge, they have that level of charm that no matter how things are so challenging, they like you, they believe in you, and they aspire to become like you or even a better version of you. So Team Usana, could you please hold an imaginary dart? And I want you to pin it on the screen. And I want you to ask, which of the three elements today do I have in my personality as a leader, right? Am I commanding? Am I equipping? Am I influencing? Or do I have all three of them? Could you please type? You may type which one is your strength. You may type which one do you like best. And I want to highlight this. Unfortunately, not all leaders possess all three elements. Some leaders may be commanding, some leaders may be equipping, but they're not likable. Therefore, they don't get to influence much. Some leaders are very likable. Some leaders equip the right tools. The problem is they don't have that enough respect from their people, and therefore they're not as commanding. Can I get an exclamation mark if we are acknowledging that the three elements need to exist in order for it to be sustainable? And so, in many ways, you have to cover all three elements, right? In my experience as a consultant and as a business motivational speaker, I often notice this. A lot of leaders are very good in command. People are afraid to a certain extent or respect them. There are a lot of leaders who are equipping, they provide their needs, but not all leaders are influencing enough, right? Not likable. Similarly, there are leaders who are commanding, leaders who are influencing, but they don't train you enough. They let you swim on your own as if you're gonna find it out on your own. Can I get the letter O as in own if you can acknowledge that? And I hope if you've experienced that at some point in your careers, in your business journey, I want you to tell yourself that sometimes experiencing the bad leaders make me appreciate what good leaders are. Because when it's my turn to become one, I will not become like you because I know how it feels to be under one. Can I get an amen for that? Right? That's coming from so much experience as well in my career. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Team Usana, could you please type in the chat box, rank your leadership ability based on the criteria we set a while ago? Could you please type? 10 being the highest. I want to see where you think the key to self-improvement starts with self-awareness. All right. So there's no right or wrong. If you think you're number 5, that's good. You have other 5 points to prove further and be better at. Right. And from time to time, you also ask your teams, hey, teams, where do you think I fall into? Am I number 8? Am I number 7? And constantly we change that over and over again. When we look at remote arrangements meaning we're not in the same place. And that happens a lot, especially in our sales activities. One of our team members is in another location. We are in another location. That's even made more challenging because of COVID-19. It starts at the bottom of the pyramid. People become engaged when they are equipped with the right tools. Am I equipped with the right tools to work remotely? Right internet connection, the ability to have a good environment and place where I can be focused. And it goes up to the next level, ways of working. Hey, coach, do we have an agreed time and frequency for communicating? Do we have a monthly or weekly huddle? Can I call you anytime? Do we talk, let's say, on Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever it is? And these are the most basic things that need to be managed before you even start expecting results from your people. And then as I climb over the ladder, I also have visibility. Right? You will notice by now in this pyramid, the higher I go up, the needs of your people become less tangible. They become more abstract. So visibility is when I say, hi, coach, do you know the challenges that I face? And do you know the support I need from you when I have mentioned them many times? Right? Can I get the letter V if you can relate also with that, please? So visibility, that even if you don't see them, you are aware of what's happening in their day-to-day sales activities. And then as I go up, it becomes even more abstract. The second to the last is belonging. Hey, coach, we may not be together in the same room, but do you have my back? Will you be there to support me if I need your help? Will you also be there to be accountable if ever the team has its own setbacks? And finally, at the top of the pyramid, in remote arrangements, especially in the time of pandemic, what we have is what we call as empowerment. Hey, coach, even if you don't see me often, do you trust that I will perform well? Right? Can you strike a balance between deciding and dictating every step of the way versus letting me also do things according to my style? Because that's how I get inspired in what I do. So, Team Usana, hold an imaginary dart again, pin it on the screen, and I want you to please indicate where do you think you fall into in terms of you coaching your teams? Are you in letter T as in tools? And I hope you're not, because that's too basic. W, ways of working. V as in visibility. B as in belonging. Or letter E, are you in empowerment? Right? I hope you go up in the ladder, and I hope your goal in the future is, how do I progress from one step to another as well, right? Most of the teams that we coach in other industries are likely in letter V, as in visibility. And some of our team members are also in letter B, or belonging. Your goal is to find ways to be at the top of the pyramid, especially in remote arrangement. All right. Can I get an exclamation mark, please, if we're learning something and realizing something about our leadership skills so far, especially in today's remote times, in today's remote arrangements? Thank you. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the next steps. Okay, John, I get it. I understand what are the challenges today in the time of pandemic. What are the next steps? And here's my first request. To become an effective leader in challenging times, I want you to consider building what we call a psychological safety. Because empowerment starts with a mindset that no matter how small your position is, no matter how new you are in the company, your actions can lead to change, right? So what do you mean by psychological safety? I'm going to start with a quick activity. Could you please, Team Usana, get a piece of paper or get your phones with you? If you can scribble something on your phones, that will be appreciated. So get a pen and paper. And I want to challenge you, look at the drawing on the right side. You'll see there a candle, and it's stuck on a wall. The wall is made out of wood. I want you to draw the same thing by using the materials indicated on the screen. You're going to have a box of thumbtacks and a box of matchsticks. You cannot use any other material. The challenge is, how are you going to place the candle adjacent vertically to the wall? It can be stuck on the wall, or it can be hanging vertically and floating. Can I get the letter C if we're clear with the challenge? So draw it. You can draw it on your own. Okay, thank you. And then when you're done, give me an exclamation mark if you are done with, how do you call this, drawing it. Okay. Some folks from my other screen are already done. That's good. So I'll give you 15 seconds. Okay. So let's see how you fare. All right, let's see how you fare. So by the way, this is not a unique exercise. It's called the Candle Innovation Challenge. It was devised in 1945 by a psychologist named Carl Dunker. In a lot of Silicon Valley companies, whenever you apply for a candidate, so let's say in Google or in Facebook, it's one of the most popular questions asked that tries to check your ability to innovate and think out of the box. So let's see how you answer this challenge. Can I get number 1 in the chat box if you chose this way? Who thought of it this way? Burn the candle on the side because you have a matchstick, and then stick that onto the wall. Can I get the number 1, please, in the chat box? Okay. Very good. I'm seeing some participants in the Philippines, also in Indonesia. Okay. So by the way, this is 80%. Majority of the participants who are being asked to do this, 80% of them will think like this. How about option number 2? Can I get a number 2 in the chat box? Who of you here thought of number 2? I call this as the minimalist way. You put a thumbtack into the candle, and then another thumbtack into the wall, and then you hook them together. Right? Can I see that? Who here has number 2? Very good. So I see a lot of number 2 as well. How about number 3, which is one? All right. Can I get a number 3 in the chat box, please? Okay, I see a lot of number 3. Only about 30% of participants usually feel that this is the way of doing it. And this is one of the most innovative way because you take out the thumbtacks in the box. You don't see it as a container. You rather see it as a vessel to carry the candle. It's very innovative, right? Can I get the letter I? If you think that this is one of the most innovative way, I think this is a very innovative way of doing it. But here's my point. It does not matter if your answer is one, two, or three. The point is, if you look at how we all responded to this challenge, many of us chose option one, some of us chose option two, some of us chose option three. What's the realization here? The realization is that we all have different approaches to a problem. Can I get an exclamation mark if we acknowledge that? And they're all good. They're all effective. They're all right. Some are better than others, yes. But the point is, we got into the next part of the journey. We call this, by the way, in psychology as perspective taking. Perspective taking is the ability to acknowledge that your way of doing things is not the only way. Kena De Vera says in the chat box from the Philippines, my style wasn't in any of the three. That's also fine. If you had another way of doing it, that means there are dozens and dozens of way of doing it, right? I only gave three examples because we only have a 1 hour session here. But my point is, you all have your own different styles. Leadership is also like this, right? Leadership is also about acknowledging that we can learn from each other. Your age or background in life does not determine your superiority. We all have equal chances to contribute and learn from each other. Can I get a resounding exclamation mark if we are embracing that, please? And I hope you are. I expect no less from you, Team Usana, right? This is perspective taking. This is where we say to each other as a leader, even if I'm the leader, even if I'm the coach, my way is not the only way. Could you please type that in the chat box? I want you to please give me that commitment this morning. My way isn't the only way, right? My way isn't the only way. And when we talk about my way not being the only way, we call that a psychological safety. Psychological safety is the ability to encourage your team members that even if you're the smallest, even if you're the newest member of the team, your ideas are valid. Your ideas could be the next blockbuster idea for Usana. You look at this chart, y-axis is psychological safety, x-axis is performance level, and you will notice that there are teammates that we have in our organization that fall under apathy zone. Apathy zone meaning, well, they never acted on my suggestion anyway. What's the point of saying, right? Psychological safety is low. Performance level is also low. You don't want these kinds of teammates because they will not give their best. But the reason why they don't give their best is because you never listen to them. There are also other teammates who fall under what we call as comfort zone. Very high psychological safety, but very low performance level. So these are teammates who say, I'm stress-free at this stage. If there's nothing broken, there's nothing to be fixed. So I'm not gonna move because no one's pushing me to move. These are teammates wherein, do you have those kinds of meetings wherein this teammate wants to ask a question, but he will not ask a question because the meeting might just prolong? Can I get an exclamation mark if you've had those kinds of teammates? I'm sure you can relate to that. They're in comfort zone. They're fine, but they're not going to give their best. And then you also have teammates who fall under anxiety zone. So these are people who will say, well, I might sound I'm challenging authority if I ask my coach a lot of questions. And so I will shut up. Psychological safety is low, but performance level is high. It's only high because she follows everything that you tell her, even if it's not the best for the organization anymore, right? So these are the kinds of leaders who will say, these are the PowerPoint slides, these are the font size, the font style, the templates that you need to follow. There is only one way of doing it, and it's my way. Can I get an exclamation mark or letter A in the chat box if you can relate to these kinds of leaders, right? And I want to highlight this. When someone has proven to you that they are reliable and can get the job done, to a certain extent, you have to let go. You have to let them feel that they can get the job done because they enjoy the passion of getting the job done as long as they meet the bottom line. That's where we fall into the last part, and that's called the learning zone. High psychological safety and high performance level. And that's where your teammates will say, My coach might have reservations about this suggestion, but I'm confident because they're open minded that it might be a good idea. And so I will speak up. Can I get the letter L if this is the kind of culture that you are espousing today in your teams? In a lot of organizations, whether it's a multinational company like Usana, whether it's a Silicon Valley company like Google, leaders espouse what we call as psychological safety, the ability to challenge your ideas, the ability to ask questions, the ability to say, I have reservations because I want what's best for the company, I want what's best for the team. Can I suggest this first? Can I park? Can I give some alternatives? Right? I want to highlight this team, Yasana, because I'm concerned as someone who's passionate about leadership. We live in a world today where it seems like we are normalizing that we're not supposed to challenge authority. Can I get the letter A if you acknowledge that? We seem to live in that world, and our world is supposed to be my way is not the only way. I want to gather as much best practices as I can, and in order for me to do that, I will acknowledge other people's ideas. All right, so here's a case study. In our organization, we're a very small company, we're only 53 people compared to Usana. When we recruit people to join our teams, in their interview, we ask them a unique question to test their personality. Regardless if they're applying for a social media job, a graphic artist job, even if it has nothing to do with technicals, we ask them a math question. And the math question is, what is 25 times 28? Could someone please tell me what the answer to this question is?
Well,
Anyone?
Francis
What
would
is
know how
25?
to do
Very
that.
good. Wow, Josh Miranda from Philippines answered that quickly. I hope you didn't use a calculator, but that's good. Why do we ask this question? You might be asking, it has nothing to do if the person is applying for a social media job or a graphic design job. But here's the reason why. We are waiting for the person to ask, why are you asking me this question? Because there will be two kinds of reactions. People who will follow it blindly because they're desperate to have that job, perhaps, or people who will say, I'm going to answer that question, but could you please tell me first what's the rationale behind asking it? Between those two candidates, I will prefer to choose the latter. Why? Because they ask why. These people are psychologically safe. They know that they want to do things, but they need to understand the reason why they are doing it. They can challenge, they can ask questions, and even before they become part of our organization, they already feel psychologically safe. Can I get a letter P as in psychological safety if you're acknowledging that? Right? And so on a scale of 1 to 10, Team Usana, could you please type in the chat box, with 10 being the highest, how psychologically safe do you think your teammates feel when contributing ideas in a meeting? Could you please type? 5, 6, 7? I've had managers, I've had, when I was still, how do you call this, starting out my own business, I've had people who work with me. These are managers where I always tell them, team, whenever you need to coach your people, make sure that they are psychologically safe. Be in number 8, be in number 7, be in number 9 as much as you can, right? Can I get an exclamation mark again if we're learning something so far about psychological safety? All right, let's give away a quick prize. Are you guys ready for this? Can I get the letter A as in advanced techniques if you guys are ready? So first person to answer the question on the Zoom chat box for our friends from Indonesia, Thailand, and other countries. And then the first person to answer the question on my Viber account for Philippines gets to win 10 tickets. Are you guys ready? So I want to remind Philippine team, you have to answer on Viber. Okay? You have to join our Viber account, which is this one. And that's also the QR code if you'd like to scan the QR code. Okay? Are you guys ready? Yes? Could you please find the mistake in this screen? Okay? Could you please find the mistake on the screen? Someone tell me. I'm gonna wait for your responses. Ooh, it's interesting how people are responding. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for 15 seconds because people are taking time to answer. Okay, Tuti ID Inspire is the first person I got from my outside the Philippines chat box. So congratulations, Tuti. Tuti ID. That's what I see from the chat box. And then in my Philippines account, the winner is Camille Vistan. Congratulations. Can I get an exclamation mark for our participants? Here's the interesting answer. The answer has nothing to do with the numbers. The answer is with the word the. The word the comes out twice. Can I get an exclamation mark if you see something fascinating from that? What is the moral lesson here? The brain is selective. The brain always think that the mistake is somewhere there in the numbers, just like in life. We think that the issue is somewhere else. Apparently, it's at the background. It's somewhere else that we haven't been looking at. It's the word the. Same thing happens also with leadership. Sometimes when someone is not performing well, we try to pinpoint that the issue is coming from somewhere else. Apparently, it's coming perhaps from us. Did we coach the person right? Did we train the person? Did we equip the person in the first place before we even complain that he is not producing as much as we can? Right? Okay, number two, since we are talking about training, please double down on your feedback and mentoring frequency. Empowerment is empty if equipping is absent. Could you please whisper or shout that out to yourself? Empowerment is empty. You can't let people do things on their own if they're not even trained and equipped on how to do it in the first place. There are three ways. When you look at structures in organizational behavior in a lot of studies, there are three ways to give coaching and feedback. It could be scheduled. We do this every month, we do this annually. It could be instant, the moment the event happens. Or it could be by demand. Here's the problem with a lot of leaders. Leaders, many times, only do frequent mentoring and coaching because it is required, because someone asked them to do it. That's the blue bar, the scheduled one, right? Let's do this. Let's look at your business plan for your customers for 2020. Let's see how it goes. We fail to realize that, hey, any time of the day is an opportunity to give a feedback. Hey, I just got a call yesterday from our VIP client. Good job. I want you to know to please keep it up. Or by demand. That's when someone from your teams will tell you, hey, coach, I have a concern. May I have a one on one with you? And that's when they feel psychologically safe that they can ask questions from you. Hold an imaginary dart again, Team Usana, pin it on the screen, right? And when you pin it on the screen, tell yourself, which of the three am I applying today in my life, in my coaching, in my mentoring schemes? Do I only do scheduled just when it needs to be done? Or do I do it as a habit because it needs to happen as many times? Remember, in the time of pandemic, it's harder to reach people. You need to therefore double down on your frequency. A good study from the Harvard Business Review, and this is a study of 16,000 data points, say when millennials, and I see a lot of millennials in our Zoom session today, a lot of you perhaps have a lot of millennial teammates. The question is, how often do you prefer receiving feedback from your leaders? And what we notice is that a lot of millennials, the younger they are, the more they want their feedback to be as frequent as possible, monthly or even weekly. Can I get an exclamation mark if we are noticing that difference? Because they want to learn, because they want to grow, because they want to know how they can improve before it even gets too late. This is how the social media also operates. In social media, we got likes, comments, shares, retweets. That kind of mentality also graduates in the business world. We want, as often as we can, real-time feedback, right? So when you look at your ability to provide feedback, this is the 1995 way. You have a mentor, coaches the mentee. That's 1995, 1998. The mentor dictates that there is only one way of doing things, right? But we're in 2020, ladies and gentlemen. In the year of 2020, we have to change how we do things. We want a 360-degree feedback process. Your teammates can also be a source of learning. The partners, the customers, you let your mentee be coached, if possible, by other coaches and leaders, because your way is not the only way. Do not monopolize the learning opportunities of your people. They deserve to learn and be the most absorbent sponge as they can. Because the world is a buffet of learning. Can I get an exclamation mark? And to become the best of the best, you need to experience everything in life. Sometimes you only realize the things that you like when you have tasted the things that you don't like. And so you let your people learn and be the most absorbent sponge when they can, when it comes to becoming a better version of themselves. Can I get an exclamation mark again, Team Usana, if we're learning so far? Yes? And so when we talk about increasing feedback frequency, you can use technology. Number one, coaching does not need to be always a 1 hour formal session. It doesn't need to happen on Zoom or Microsoft Teams. It doesn't need to be as if you are investigating for a criminal, telling the person that something went wrong. It could also be in a positive light. Or number two, coaching can be as casual as a few chats here and there. The younger they are, they appreciate that informal feedback is legit feedback. Can I get an exclamation mark also again? If you appreciate that? Those small sentences, those short remarks. Hey, that was a good presentation. Hey, that was a good spiel. Hey, can I steal that best practice? Those small things are already forms of feedback. You don't need to do it formally as if someone's applying for a job interview. And number three, may I remind you, especially in Asian cultures, when a lot of us are not vocal, when a lot of us may not be confrontational, coaching does not need to be verbally expressed all the time. It can also be done via actions and gestures. Case in point, number one, let everyone know. You don't need to say it directly to him or her. When in an email, you copy other leaders and coaches in the same email about his work, that is signaling to the person that he has done a great job. Hi, coaches. I'd like to share one of the best practices that my teammate has done last week. Something to share because I think it's a good idea that some people can pick their brains from. Another example, when you let go of micromanagement and let the person, for example, present to the customer on her own because she has already proven that she can do it on her own, that is signaling to her that I'm letting you go because I acknowledge that you are now ready. Can I get a letter M as in micromanage tendencies if you acknowledge that as well? Right? You don't say that directly, but the person will detect it and see, my coach is starting to let me go because she's starting to appreciate that I can be trusted and do things on my own. And I appreciate that. Right? And finally, number three, declare it as a best practice. When you share someone's achievement with the rest of your teammates, you are signaling to that person that, hey, he's a role model. In fact, whenever we do all those energetic Usana moments, by the way, since we can't do much events these days, do you guys miss those very big Usana events? Can I get the letter U if you miss that? I miss that so much. It's my number one source of energy, right? I miss that a lot. But when you can't do that, you need to create your own moments. You need to create those moments that when you're in a Zoom meeting, you acknowledge who has achieved, you have acknowledged who has done something right for their people. These are not direct verbal gestures. These are actions that people are going to appreciate from you. Right? Can I get an exclamation mark? All good so far? If we're learning something about our leadership abilities, coaches, mentors, very good. All right. I'll give away one last contest. Again, free 10 tickets, and it's our best selling program. We've had 5 countries attending it. We have 100 participants every session. Boost your confidence, public speaking, and business writing, which I think is very apt for anyone in the world of sales. This is happening on November 21 and 28. Everything is conducted in English. And so I'm going to request you guys to please answer the question, Viber for Philippines and Zoom chat for our friends and neighbors in other countries. You guys are ready? Okay. So again, if you haven't caught our Viber community yet, please scan the QR code. You can see that now, or you can enter the link. This is for the Philippines, right? And you have to contact the Viber admin. All right. Philip, so people are asking, why can't I send in a messenger for Viber? You have to contact the Viber admin. Okay? So we can keep track. Okay? Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Japan, Korea. Are you guys ready? Okay? All right. So my question is this. How many holes do you see in this photo of the t-shirt? Okay? How many holes? Wow. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of people now. All right. My winner, I just got one. I'm checking from our participants from Indonesia, Thailand. Myra ID Richard, congratulations. Okay, that's from our screen from our other neighbors. Congratulations. And by the way, if you win, please send us an email, jonathanyabut at jycvasia.com. Mark here, RS, could you please give me an exclamation mark if you see this? And he's wearing Ramzar Salumbides. Congratulations. You win 10 tickets. And our participant also from, I think, Indonesia, because I see the ID. Congratulations also. Send us an email, jonathanyabut at jycvasia.com. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is number 8 at the back, and then that's 4. And then you have the 4 standard holes, the collar, the sleeves, and the logo. We have a tendency to assume what is already given, and then we forget that there are other hidden things that we don't consider in our daily vision and sight. So people will answer number 6 because they think that the hole is only in front. But when you see the yellow background, the holes get up to the last part, which means those are 2 holes also at the back. Can I get an exclamation mark for our winners, please, in this session? Okay, very good. All right. Let's go to the last part. Let me end this session with number 3. In times of isolation, when mobility is limited in the time of pandemic, I want you to please embrace your critical role as leaders to help your teams socialize and expand their network, even if it needs to be virtually. So I want to give one of my favorite studies of all time. So I'm a psychology geek. When I feel stressed, I just read a psychology study. And one of my study was popular way back in the 1970s. Up until today, this is one of the landmark studies understanding how human beings behave and socialize. And it's called the Rat Park Addiction Study by Bruce Alexander. Right? You can take a screenshot. You can read the entire article. It's around 11 pages, right? On Google search if you want. But here is the interesting study. The study had a group of rats, right? It was a rat park study. And the rats were placed inside cages. They were given morphine, a very addicting drug to get addicted to. But in this study, I want you to think of the morphine as the same bad things you're stuck with during the quarantine. Examples of that, if you're stuck with so much unhealthy food in your refrigerator, you'll keep on eating it. If you're stuck with toxic people in your house or your organization, you'll keep on feeling that toxicity, right? If you keep on harboring negative thoughts, you'll keep on harboring those negative thoughts as well. So here's what happened in that study. In the rat park study, later, because they remember they all had morphine in their cages, all of them were prone to get addicted. Okay, all good? Later, some of the cages were transferred into another cage, bigger cage. The cage had playground, slide, balls, food. It had a lot of rats in it. And that's why it's called the rat park. So now we have 2 groups. Group A, rats that were isolated with morphine. Group B, rats also with morphine, but on top of the morphine, they also had a playground. Can I get an exclamation mark if we're clear with that? Right, so 2 groups. Both cages still had morphine, but one of the cages had a playground in it. The other, nothing. It's just the morphine on its own. All cool? Yes? So here's what happened in the study. And I think you already have an idea about the conclusion. What happened to the rats left in isolation with morphine? Well, the answer is simple. Unfortunately, because they had nothing else inside the cage but the morphine, they will get addicted to the morphine. They couldn't get out of the same routine. Can I get a letter R if we are acknowledging that that is obviously expected, right? You're isolated, you have nothing else but water and morphine. You'll keep on taking the morphine, right? But here's the interesting part. What happens to the rats in the rat park? They had balls, slides, other rats, other people that they can fall in love with, that they can befriend, and that they can play with. What happened to them? Well, over time, even if there was also morphine inside the same cage, they ended up ignoring the morphine because they were too busy with other things in life. Can I get an exclamation mark if you see the beautiful lesson there? And I hope you do, right? Whenever I feel that I'm out of touch because I live alone, I live alone. And so sometimes I feel that I need that physical touch or social touch. I remind myself of this rat park study. The moral lesson here is simple, right? We are intrinsically, more than anything else, social creatures. Our success is dependent not only on what we eat or breathe, but we are also dependent on the things we surround ourselves with. Who gets to decide what we surround ourselves with? Sometimes it's luck. But when it comes to placing things inside your house, when it comes to choosing the people you want to talk to, you have no other control to do that but yourself. Can I get an exclamation mark if you are acknowledging that? Right? So, as coaches and leaders and mentors, when you want to take good care of the mental health of your people, you need to push them and ask them how are they expanding their networks beyond their current realms of network. So here's where I will ask, if you want to push your teams to be good and mentally well, you need to push them to connect with people outside work or family. Can I get the letter O as in outside if you want to commit to that? Right? Outside meaning could be someone you met at a business conference before COVID-19. Talk to them on Zoom, schedule something on Facebook, schedule something online, schedule something on Viber, right? Could be your friends from high school. It could be your ex-colleagues, your ex-teammates, your ex-coaches, your ex, how do you call this? Your exes in life, your partners in life, if you're still in good terms with them. Or it could be a Facebook group, a Line group, a Viber group, a Kakao Talk, or whatever instant messaging platform that you use, right? As much as you can, expand your network. Why is this important? If you're isolated and you're only talking to the same amount of people, what's the danger behind that? You fall into the risk that you're talking about the same things and yet no one is challenging you anymore about that comfortable truth. Can I get the letter C as in challenge if we acknowledge that? This is the reason why it's very unhealthy, Team Usana, if you keep on blocking people that you don't like. Because if you keep on blocking everyone, you will end up with no one else but people who are similar to you. That's dangerous because everyone is similar to who you are. You don't anymore discover new things, new people that can suggest you things that you may not have known. I'm not here to preach because you already know this. This is the science of networking. If you keep on going to the same places, you will only end up meeting the same people who you already encountered in your life. The only goal mathematically, statistically, is to expand beyond to places where you haven't been. This is the same thing about motivation. This is the same thing when it comes to mental health. We need to expand. Can I get a letter S who here has seen Social Dilemma on Netflix? I hope you have, right? It's the same way that the algorithm, do not let algorithm of social media decide how you see the universe. Take control, use them as one source, but use other multiple sources to get your things done. By the way, as I end, this is the same thing about the science of investments. I know that a lot of Usana people do invest. So can I get the letter E if you have equities? If you have some stocks, letter S. Letter M, if you have some money market funds, for example. I'm sure you put a lot in different, right? What is the number one rule in investment? What's the number one rule in investment? Can someone type in the chat box, please? You do not put all of your eggs in one basket. That's right. Thank you, Rosner, for sharing that. You don't. You diversify, right? You diversify. Team Usana, it's the same thing when it comes to motivation. You do not anchor yourself only into one thing, one person, or even one customer. You diversify. The danger to only anchoring yourself to one person, one customer, or one thing the entire time is if that person falls, you fall with that person as well, right? So when I say I want to be motivated by multiple things, I am motivated by my loved ones, by traveling, by business, by the people, by the books that I read, the Netflix documentaries that I watch. If one of them does not go well, that's fine. I have other baskets of motivation to go to. Same thing with diversifying with our customers, right? We have customer A, customer B, C, and D, but we all know that expanding the network also means diversifying who those customers are. Can I get an exclamation mark if we're acknowledging that? Motivation, business, or anything in life is always best done when you diversify it. So as I end with the last question, do you ensure that you get to have a meaningful conversation with someone outside work, outside business, 1 to 2 times a week? I hope you do. And if not, that's fine. Your answer could be letter B. No, but I realize I need to moving forward. Yes, right? We expand. As I said a while ago, you only know the things that you like when you have tasted the things that you don't like. Sometimes it pays to read the book with the ugly cover, go to places that you thought weren't nice, befriend people that you thought you weren't going to get along with, watch that documentary on Netflix that you thought was boring, but eventually changed your life. That's how we expand. That's also called life at the end of the day. And so as I end, Team Usana, can I please ask an exclamation mark? Last part, please, if you have learned something. And if we commit that what we have learned this morning is something that we can apply to our people as coaches, as mentors, as leaders, that no matter how our paths cross in the future, it's something that we bring with us at the end of the day. I'm going to end with this last quote. Can I get a letter P if you have seen the documentary on Netflix, The Playbook? Have you seen it? Gosh, guys, please see it. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. You have to see it. So 5 coaches, and they talk about how they were able to manage their teams. It is not just about sports. It's about managing personalities and discipline. So please watch it. And one of my key takeaway quotes in that documentary is from the tennis player Billie Jean King. And she says, pressure is privilege. Can I get the letter P? Or could you please type the entire statement in the chat box? Pressure is privilege. When you're pressured to do something, take it as a privilege because not everyone is given that opportunity to be pressured to make more in business, to be able to contact customers, to even have a coach in the first place. You're being pressured by your coach, that's fine. That's privilege because that means someone cares for you. Someone wants to teach you. Someone wants to make you a better version of who they are. When you feel pressured, whisper that to yourself. Pressure is privilege. And with that, I'm going to end my session. Thank you very much, Team Usana. I hope to see you in future sessions again. Can I get an exclamation mark if we're all good, energetic, right? Can I get a letter C in the chat box or letter P if we feel more confident and powerful to become great leaders for our teams? All right, very good. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Please stay safe. Continue taking care of someone that you love. And in today's time, the only thing left for us is to continue being critical of our environment. Thank you. Salamat po. Terima kasih. Come on. Kapkun ka. I don't know if I have to pronounce it right. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan Yabut. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. No, I could see in the chat box that everyone is very engaged, no, very inspired, and you got a lot from that, right? Could you please type in the chat box how you're feeling right now so far? Can you please type one word in the chat box to describe how you're feeling so far after that talk from Mr. Jonathan Yabut? Oh, they're not done saying thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. That was a great talk full of information and ideas and very engaging and yet still relatable and applicable, right? And so, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a 5 minute break, okay? We will be back in 5 minutes. So please just keep your cameras and your microphones switched off. But please do not log out of this call and be sure to be back in front of your gadgets in 4 minutes because we are going to start again in 5 minutes with our next speaker. Okay? So, ayan, they're empowered, powered up, great. Okay? See you all in 5 minutes. Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back for the second part of this webinar. Hello, Leo.
Hello, Ivy. And well, I was actually so amazed all the time, every time I hear Jonathan talk about
Mhm.
things in life. And, I know pretty sure like you, I, and the rest, and everybody in this call are actually, actually learned a lot. It's like
Mhm.
an eye opener. Sometimes we tend to miss little things in the world and we're forgetting the beauty of the real world, actually. So same as with the next speaker that we'll be having today, as someone who've actually proven that to be consistent, to follow what you really wanted to do in life is something more important than actually just dealing with so many things around and will end up, you missing the opportunity to better your life. Right? Do you agree, Ivy?
Yes, that is true, Leo. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker was very carefully chosen because you know why? The topic is about intentional leadership, and it is something that cannot be discussed by someone who does not actually walk the talk. And as you know, if you know this guy, he is one of the greatest leaders in Usana, Philippines, and in the industry, in fact. And he has produced a lot of great leaders as well under him. And so, with great honor, we introduce to you our next speaker, our one of the most consistent Philippine top income earners in Usana. He is an elite bonus earner, regular, consistent elite bonus leader. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you our next speaker to talk about the applications of the theoretical aspects of intentional leadership. None other than our executive four-star diamond director, Mr. Nathaniel Sunio. Hey, Nat.
All right. Hi, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Ivy, and thank you, Sir Leo, for that introduction. So, good morning, guys. Good morning to our Philippine distributors and then also to our neighbors from Thailand and Indonesia. So, thank you for this opportunity to speak about this topic as well. And it's just wow. This morning is just wow. I sorry, I'm just starting and I'm getting emotional. I'm just so happy with the opportunity that we have right now. Okay, can you guys type one if you guys are feel grateful that we have this opportunity today? Just so many things that's really flashing back in my mind, and there's so many inputs with Sir Jonathan, and I think like we have to appreciate the opportunity that we have right now. We have to appreciate the opportunity that we have right now. That we have this opportunity, especially during this time, seeing a lot of people basically having a hard time during this time. And we are so blessed to have this opportunity, global opportunity, and we have the opportunity to share this to many people as well. So I want you to really appreciate what we have right now. It's so amazing. And I just get a lot of input about training of Sir Jonathan Yabut. Sir Jonathan Yabut is just wow. You're so amazing. If you're still here and still listening, thank you for your training. Thank you for your training. I was challenged and at the same time have new perspective. The way I do my business now was challenged because of the training that you just did. right? And here are some of my inputs in your training. My way isn't the only way, and that's basically true. Our the way we do business now is really evolving. We have to be more open to really challenge our leadership, because what we have today is because of what we know and because of what we are doing. Until we change what we know, or add something on what we know and what we do, that the results will not basically change. And we have to understand that, right? The psychological safety is very, is very accurate. Right? Because a lot of leaders basically are in their comfort zone right now. I also know there's a lot of leaders are in their, what do you call this? Apathy. And sometimes they have a lot of anxiety because of the things that we want to demand them to do without letting them be creative in how to do it as well. So I understand now that we all need to be in that learning zone. So I'm really privileged to be here and to speak with you guys and to train with you about intentional leadership. And I'm also pressured, right? But I'm happy that Sir Jonathan basically end with this talk with this quote by Billie Jean King. Pressure is privilege, indeed. So thank you for choosing me here. It's just wow. Okay, let me just share my screen with you guys so I can start doing this training. Anyway, is my audio clear from Indonesia and Thailand? Can you type one if it's clear? So I want to know if everything is okay. From the Philippines, can you type one as well if my audio is clear? All right, thank you. Okay, so from Thailand, Indonesia. Okay, I think we're good. So thank you so much. Okay. All right. So for those who don't know me yet, okay, my name is Nat and I'm married to Joanne Sunio, my beautiful wife. I'm so happy and blessed to have her by my side for the past 11 years. Okay. So we are a 4-star diamond director and also a $1 Million Club member of Usana. So my topic today is about intentional leadership. And I wanna share with you guys what I did or my experience for the past 11 years, how I'm in the position that I have right now, or how I get into the position that I have today. And I hope you guys would learn a lot of things about these things as well. I'm so happy as well with this opportunity, and these are my family now. So I'm a father of 3, 2 boys, 1 daughter, and then that's my wife as well. So every time I see this picture, I'm just so happy. So I hope I know. I'm sorry about my emotions basically pouring out right now because of so many things to be grateful about. So no matter what, I want to encourage you guys. No matter where are you in your life right now, whether you're doing great or you're not doing well. Okay, just have faith and just continue. Life is just like that. But any 2 years, any 5 years can really change your life. So don't give up and don't quit. Okay, so my background. So I'm basically part of a typical poor Filipino where every single day we have to work for money so we can have food on our table. In this house, you see in the picture, basically that's where we live, not inside the house, but in the sidewalk, in this sidewalk. So I remember during that time that my dad uh, used to drive a tricycle for a living, or tuk-tuk in Indonesia. I don't know how you call it there. And then my mom was a vendor selling eggs, selling fruits, anything that he could sell just to provide for our needs. That's where we sleep. That's our store as well. That's where we take a bath and do everything else. So can you imagine that, right? So that's how I grew up. So just a typical poor Filipino family. So I studied elementary in public school and also in high school, public. But after high school, I worked at KFC, fast food chain. That's my first job. Okay, and then during college, I was fortunate to study in college while at the same time I was a vendor selling rice cakes during Burr months, because during Burr months that's where rice cakes are more saleable. So it's a seasonal business. So I need to work so I can have money to buy for my stuffs, because my parents will not give me money, not because they don't want to, but because they don't have the money to give us. So we know that few months from now it's gonna be December, Christmas, and everybody's celebrating. So I want to have my own things, my own new things, which is very rare. So that's why I had to work just to get the money, just to provide for what I need, right? And here's my story about network marketing. I was introduced and joined network marketing when I was in 4th year college. I was fortunate enough to be in college, but I was introduced when I was in 4th year college. After I got hyped in all the trainings and I attended, I dropped out of college. I attended so many trainings. I got so hyped. I heard these realizations about, I know some of you basically know this. You're gonna work for like 14 years, for 15 years, for 16 years, and after you graduate, this is how little you're gonna earn, and this income will not enough to provide for your family as well. So it makes sense for me that time, but I'm not thinking very clear. So I got so hyped, and I just really wanted to provide a good life for my family ASAP. So ASAP, I wanted to provide a good life for them. I don't want to wait. So what I did basically, I dropped out in college and basically start doing full time that first network marketing company. And you know what happened? After 4 months, the company closed down. Wow! In just 4 months, the company closed down. So I I was so devastated, and I did a very big mistake. I was almost graduate, and I'm seeing all the effort of my parents from elementary, high school, and college basically falling down. So I'm not proud of my decision. But because of this, I wanted to prove that my decision is right, and I choose the right opportunity as well. Then I joined 7 more companies after that in 5 years. So if you think our success in Usana is just instant, we are now a $1 million club member. We are 4-star diamond director. So a lot of people think that we are genius in doing this business. We are very good in doing this business. We have these skills. We know how to present. We know how to communicate. We are genius in communicating and then leading our people. Is basically not true. I've been in the industry for like 5 years, for 8 companies before I met Usana. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the daily grind, the sacrifices every single day in 5 years for 7 companies, failing from company to companies to company, just like Michael Jordan, failing many times, over and over and over again, right? So I lost my self-esteem. The confidence wasn't really there. My friends don't trust me anymore because of these so many failures in this company as well. And finally, I made a decision. After many tries, I quit multi-level marketing. Yes, at some point in our life, we're also a quitter. We always preach, don't quit, because those who quit will not win, right? Winners don't quit, and quitters uh, don't win, right? That's what we always preach. But at some point of our life, we are quitters as well. I decided to quit multi-level marketing. I thought to myself, like, I think 5 years is enough, and 7 tries, I think it's enough. So for me to say that, network marketing or this kind of industry is not for me as well, right? So I'm willing. So I quit multi-level marketing. Then I decided I'm gonna go to abroad. So I applied for in a hotel to have experience in the housekeeping. So that's why I became a locker attendant in Shangri-La, and hoping to have the experience and then few years go to abroad and then work for more money so I could provide more for my family. But situations have changed because of this. So last 2008, my girlfriend got pregnant, which is my wife right now. We are not prepared and we are not ready. This is not also part of the plan as well. And that same year, he gave birth. It was October of 2008. So we don't know what we're doing. And this is the situation that we got into that 2008. So we don't have a choice. We have to accept that new reality that we're going to be a parent and we're going to build our own family as well. So I used to think of my dreams for my family, but now I have my own family as well, even though I did not fulfill yet the dreams for my parents or for my family. But this is the situations that I have. So I was contemplating. This really changed my mindset. Will I still go to abroad? Will still go to other countries and work? Or will I stay here in the Philippines, even though small income, so I can be with the family? Last October 4 of 2008, this is the video that I will show you, just a short video. That's why I'm holding my son. This is the first time that I carry him, and it's the day one as well when he got born as well. So I want you to watch this. While I'm doing that, I was really thinking, can I really leave my wife and leave my son here in the Philippines? You know what I realized? I wanted to go to abroad to provide for my family, but you know what, guys? Providing is just one thing, but being with your family and being present is also another thing. I choose to stay here, even though I don't have idea if I can make more money so I could provide for them. But the most important thing is to be with my kids, to be with them. Family is one of the best things that really one of the best blessing that God would give us, basically. So I've seen a lot of people basically, and Filipinos going overseas and then working there, and then uh, what do you call this? Separated with their families. I don't want that to happen with my family. That's what changed my decision during that time. That's 2008. So I'm getting emotional about this. And then I was introduced in Usana last November of 2008. Just like you guys, I don't know what to do. Just like you guys, I don't have the skills. I don't know how to communicate. I don't know how to do presentations, right? And sometimes I'm gonna talk to a client who is, who can't understand Tagalog, and the only way to communicate with them is just English. As you see right now, I'm having a hard time. Then how much more 11 years ago? So guys, if you are someone like me, whose English is not the first language and you're not comfortable because you're not doing it all the time, guys, you have a chance. You should be excited seeing me right now and hearing me right now, because this could be your future in Usana. It doesn't matter as long as you make that decision. And I was introduced to Usana last November 2008. I don't have the money. I have problems with auto orders. I have problem with time as well because we have a baby during that time, and only Joanne is basically, what do you call this? Only Joanne has a work, and her salary is the one who's basically, we're uh, we're managing every single month as well. But you know what? Even though you don't have the time, the money, those are just resources. Some people will say, I don't have enough prospects. I don't have enough time. I have a baby. I can't do Usana. So those are resources. Time, money, prospects were resources. And I'm always saying resources is never the problem. It's the lack of resourcefulness is the problem. But here's what I realized. If you have the emotions, okay, if you care enough about your dreams, okay, you can always find a way. If you are determined to really change your life and change the life of your loved ones, you can always find a way. The greatest asset that we could have as a human being is our emotions. We just need to use it properly. We just need to do it right. Right. So I always thinking, what's my dream for my family? I can't do anything. Right. I don't think I can. I don't think there are things that I cannot do for my family. That's my mindset during that time. So there's a training. Yes. Even though I'm slow learner, I can just hard work and then sacrifice. Definitely I will arrive. And that's exactly what happened. Right. I started with few people. I started with few leaders as well. Not even leaders when we were starting. Even myself, I'm not a leader when I was starting. Right? So I started with few people. Here's what I realized. We are just looking for people who's like us, who wants to pursue their dreams as well. Not all people that are dreaming basically wants to work hard to pursue their dreams. We're just gonna walk with the walkers and run with the runners. We're just looking for those people who have motivations to really change their life. And I realized there's a lot of people that don't sign up, and that's okay. These are not the people that I'm looking for. The reason why I keep on presenting every single day, because I was looking for people who is like me, that just want to change their life or wants to create an impact in the lives of many as well. So as I grow my skills, as I grow my leadership, as I grow my mindset, and then my organization started to grow. And the same true in Usana. The more you develop yourselves, the more your organizations will basically grow. You know what? When I was starting, I don't have regular income every single week. People don't trust me. And every time I talk to guests and clients as well, they don't sign up immediately as well. But you know what the problem is? I'm always saying it's not who you are right now who's going to be successful in Usana, it's who we can become, right? So I started growing my abilities, and as I grow my abilities, then my income grow, my organizations grow. It's not just you can't do it. It's just as you don't have the skills yet, the mindset, the knowledge yet for you to become successful in this business. And then the team grow and grow, right? And it eventually became a huge organizations. And of course, we all know if you have big organizations in this industry, it means more points. It means more income. It means it will change your lifestyle. It means more options with your family, more convenient with them, more time with family. You can improve your health because it costs money to improve your health, right? This is where we bought our first house and then few more houses. We have this great income in Usana, and then more time with family is something that's really, really important. And the most important thing is improve health. And you know what? And we are in the business of changing lives, where we give us the purpose, the motivations every single day to work, to create an impact to other people as well. And hoping that they would see what we saw in Usana and you start doing Usana for them to really change their life, right? Am I still okay there? There? Can you type 2 in Thailand and then Indonesia if you're still hearing me clear? And also in the Philippines? Said yes, mentor. Okay. So, and that this The reason why I'm sharing you this is because that's my topic for today. These are the three key realizations. This is the slides of Ryan Tan 2 weeks ago. And I want to use this because I want to emphasize this. I want to reiterate this to you guys. For us to become successful in Usana, these are the three things that we need, right? Number one is the personal development and immersion. And it's really true, right? If you're not growing your business right now, it's okay. But what you need to have in your mind is you need to develop yourself every single day. When I was starting, it's really hard for me to earn $100 every week. $100 or 5,000 pesos in a week in the Philippines. It's really hard. But when I started to develop myself, attending all trainings, applying all the learnings, and then practicing every single day, it doesn't matter. I detach myself emotionally with the outcome, and I just focus on developing myself every single day. What the most important to me during that time is the practice. How many times I talk to people every day? How many people did I talk to every single day? That's the best way to basically develop yourself. Through immersion of training and then personal development, practice, gain the knowledge and apply it so you could grow. And that's very important. Your business will not grow unless you develop yourself. A lot of people basically don't read books, right? They don't listen to audio. They don't attend trainings and seminars. That's why they did not know a lot to become successful. We all need those things, right? Ignorance is very expensive. We have to learn. We have to learn, right? Studying doesn't stop in school. After school is the real life that we need to study, right? That's very important. The second thing is basically leadership, which is my topic for today, right? Intentional leadership. Leadership is very important. For me, leadership is modeling, right? Don't think about this. You have to lead these people. Just model it and create a big influence. Automatically, you can lead these people as well. But you have to grow yourself every single day, right? You have to have this influence. Okay, if you don't have influence to people, basically you have a very low leadership. But the bigger influence that you can have, it means the higher the leadership that you have. The more you can inspire them, the more you can teach them, and then rally them, right? To hit the goal that's somehow hard or impossible. But if you rally them because your leader can inspire them, then you can hit the target. And then because of this, you can create that culture that your team needs. And then you'll be surprised that your leaders basically doing the same thing like what you're doing as well. They have this winning mindset, they have these skills that they are doing every single day, and they have the activity. You duplicate that, and that became the culture of the team as well. And it all started with intentional leadership. It all started with intentionally growing yourself, and that's very important. Okay, so our topics for today is composed of two parts. The first part is basically how to grow your influence in Usana. So let's talk about Usana because I'm not expert in other things. But somehow I can teach you what are the things that you need to do here in Usana. And it made results for me. I hope it will make results for you. Number two is how to grow your leaders in Usana. And this is a simple topic, but very important topic that we all need to do. And these are the answer why people are asking. I keep on sponsoring people. How come my team are not growing? Because of leadership. So let me show you why leadership is very important. That's the questions that we need to ask. Here's what John Maxwell said about leadership. He said, everything rises and falls on leadership. And that's very important, right? Have you seen some companies that are successful without great leaders, right? The success of the countries, the companies will always be based on leadership. How great is their leader? You'll see the improvement of the companies, the small or big, the organizations, right? The countries. It is because of the leadership that they have. So everything rises and falls on leadership. So I remember the story of McDonald's, right? The McDonald's brothers, this Dan and Maurice, I think, when they started this business of McDonald's, right? They discovered that restaurant, and then they discovered that quick service where you can buy this food in just 5 minutes, then you can get the food that you want. So they became super successful during that time. And then the idea of franchising came, and then they opened up franchise until to 11 franchise. And I think 9 is basically functioning during that time. And Rick Kroc is the one who's the supplier of their machine for their ice cream, I think, during that time, right? And you know what happened, no? So 9 and 11, they are great managers, 9 and then 11, but they cannot grow their business more than that because it takes a great leader to grow from this level to higher levels. Some of you basically is earning good in Usana right now, but you are thinking, how can I grow my business from here and to go to the next level? Maybe that's something that we all need to learn. Right now, McDonald's is everywhere. It's because of that great leadership. Okay, so what could happen Okay, without good leadership. Here are some few examples as well. He said, without a leader, vision is lost. And it's basically true. The Bible said, without a vision, people will perish. So it talks about the word of God. It talks about the plan of God for us. If you don't know what the plan of God for us, basically you'll be lost. That's why a lot of people basically lost in this life. Same thing in our business. If you don't know what was the vision, if you don't know what could happen in the next 2 years or 5 years in the business, then basically you're going to be lost. And a lot of distributors are basically lost. They're just doing the business, but they don't have idea what could happen to them in the next 2 years or 5 years. What's the vision? Because they have no leaders that's basically telling them, inspiring them, or casting the vision to them. What could happen to them 2 years, 5 years, 3 years from now? Can you type 3 if you're still here and with me? Okay, number 2 is basically without a leader, decisions are delayed. So you will know what will happen if decisions are delayed. No one will get done, right? So no one will take action because there's no decision. So everybody's just waiting. So that's why it's very important to have this high influence. Normally, there's a level of leadership. There's a leadership that's level 1. So if you are in level 2 leadership, okay, the leaders will only follow you is those below you, those in the level 1 leadership. Level 2 leadership will only follow those in the level 3 leadership. Those people have higher influence than them. That's why if you don't have this leader who have this high influence, then most of the leaders will make a decision, then no decision will basically happen, because it takes someone who had this great influence to make the decision to pass it to everyone. And that's very important. Without a leader, agendas are multiplied. Okay, we don't get to have a focus on what's important and what are the priorities, because there's no leaders really telling us, hey, here's the priority, here's what we need to do. Okay, so remove all this agenda, because this person had this great influence. That's why we follow them. It is very important. Without leader, conflicts are extended, which is very true. This is part of our business well. Without a leader, morale is very low, because normally leaders is the one who is inspiring the team. They look up to them, right? You know the story of Martin Luther King and how he uplifted the moral of those people, right, during their time. They are fighting for freedom, right? And then we know what happened, right? Because of that guy, to really uplift the moral of the black people in the US. So without a leader, productions is reduced, which is very important, because nobody will really rally you, right? And then also without a leader, chaos will appear. So that's how leadership is basically important. And then we can say that without a leader, success might be, or if not impossible, might be impossible. And it's basically true. So I'm always saying the most important person in your organizations is not your downline. It's not your cross lines. It's not your upline. They're all important, but the most important thing is you. Because whatever will happen in your organizations, what you can make is always be dependent on you. You cannot give what you don't have. If you have to have a great leader under your organization, you have to start developing that leadership. You have to be intentional in growing yourself as well. So John Maxwell said, the true measure of leadership is influence. It means the greater the influence that we have, the more we can lead the people as well. It's nothing more and nothing less. So let's go on part 1. Okay, so what is part 1? Growing your influence. These are the factors that can grow your influence in Usana. And this is what I realized when I was starting. Okay, number 1, your knowledge. The more you have knowledge in this business, the more people wants to follow you, and you have influence over them. During our time right now, we're in the information age. Those who have these informations have great influence, right? Like what happened to Facebook, like what happened to other Airbnb or other companies as well. Knowledge is very crucial. Ernie Baron said knowledge is power. It's a potential power. Without action, basically, it will not materialize. But again, you will still start with the knowledge. Without knowledge, you will not know what to apply and what to do. So knowledge is very important. It says if you know something, then you have the edge. Then you have to learn and grow your knowledge as well, right? If you have that information, if you know how to grow the business, if you know how to train people, if you have the knowledge how to rally them, what is their motivations, right? Then you will have this influence. So second is basically skills and ability. The more you grow your skills and ability, it will all start from you. The more you grow your skills and ability. Remember, when I was starting in Usana, I don't have all of this. But as I practice every day, as I grow my skills in terms of presentations, in terms of basic training, where I will teach people and make them realize why Usana is very important, why they make the best decision in joining Usana, what are the passive income, right? And how Usana can really help them to really achieve their goals. So those were the skills, right? The skills to motivate them, the skills to set goals, the skills to to do that presentations and make people sign up so you can help your downlines as well. The more you are effective in presentations, the more influence you can have. The more your downlines or your leaders basically want you to present for their prospects, then you have an influence. Then you can teach them how to do the presentations because you are very good at this one, right? And then remember, growing your ability is very important as well. That's what growing your skills is all about. It's growing your ability. As you grow your ability, then your income will basically grow. Your organizations will basically grow. Even though if you don't know a lot of things right now, that's okay. The most important thing is you will make that decision today. And then any 2 years, any 5 years, consistent basis, and with all this effort and sacrifices, basically you can grow your ability. Then you can grow your organizations. The third thing is the most important thing as well is basically mindset. I don't think there's a people who basically wants to be around uh, with people who have this bad mindset. Remember, who you are is is same thing with your organizations. What Jim Rohn said, like, there is no bad organizations, only bad leaders. And it all starts with our mindset. If the things can be done or cannot be done, it all starts with the mindset of the leaders as well. We have to have this winning mindset. We have to have that growth mindset. How we see challenges, how we see obstacles. Because normal people, if they see challenges and obstacles, basically they will go back to their shell and they will not try anymore. But as a leader, if you have this great mindset, you have to inspire them. This can be done, especially if we're gonna help each other. This can be done. If we're gonna grow our skills, this can be done because it's been done before. Correct? Those were the mindset. Uh, what are the participations of those challenges and obstacles that's happening, right? So I'm always saying, like, challenges are quizzes, challenges and problems in life is like quizzes and tests in your schools. They are not designed for us to fail. They were designed for us to improve, to prepare. Same thing, having the right mindset. If you have this great mindset, you have that perspective. And you know what? Perspective is very important in this business. You can be in this great company of Usana. You can be in the best team in Usana, right? But if you don't have the right philosophies in how you're gonna do business, you're gonna have a hard time in succeeding. I call this blueprint. Mindset is blueprint. If you think like money is evil, then that's your blueprint. You're not gonna be involved in anything that's something to do with money. But if you think money is a tool where you can have an opportunity to help a lot of people basically and create an impact in their lives, then you're gonna pursue money and more money. That is the mindset. That's your blueprint. Whatever you believe in, is that's where you're gonna take action. And remember, whatever you believe in is the same beliefs that the organization mostly, okay, will inherit or will believe as well. Those mindsets is very important. It starts with the leader. You look at the leader is a very low mindset, it will not create an organizations. Mindset is very powerful. And also character, right? The way we do business with integrity, our honesty with our downlines. What's in it for them, not what always in it for us. Correct? Are we teaching them the right thing? Right? So are we after with what's best for them, not what's best for us? Right? Are we involving in other things like, illegal things in Usana, like you're recruiting other cross lines just to be in your business? But don't get involved with that. But you know what? The good thing about this industry, I'm always telling to my leaders as well. In this industry, you're like a wine, right? Wine, you're familiar with wine, right? The how do you call this? The older the wine is, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, the more it becomes expensive and the more it's become valuable. Same thing with your character. Same thing with your character, right? Do everything to have that reputable character, right? So that in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, people will like know you, they're going to say your name. They know that this person had this, great character, and that's influence. The more you have this great character, the bigger the influence that you could have. You have some friend or basically know some people that is have a very good character, right? If other people will tell you like, oh, this guy is like this, like, you don't believe them because you know the person. Same thing here. Be very careful with that and develop our character. And of course, relationship. The quality of our relationship with the corporate, with other leaders as well. So our people could see that, right? So are we bitter with their success or are we inspired because they are successful as well? How we communicate with them, how we work with them, how we are using them to grow our people as well, right? Relationship is very crucial. Those people that doesn't like you, you don't have influence over them. So for you to teach your downlines and to have influence with your leaders and downlines as well, you need to be likable. Just as being likable and being fake about it. I think being authentic, right? And being and putting some effort to really build that relationship. And that's very important. Okay. And lastly, last but not the least, is results. You can have this great knowledge. You can be very good in presenting, doing basic training, or training your leaders as well. Because there's a lot of people like that. But if you don't have results in this industry, somehow, okay, your influence will not this will not help you to basically grow your influence more. So results is very important because people is always thinking, okay, it may seems good. I think it's effective, but where's the result? Right? Have you tried that, right? So how many goals have you created with that, right? So what is your results? Because you can influence people for 6 months, for 1 year, but for 2 years, for 3 years, and you're stuck with your rank, and you're not solidifying the income that you have and your rank as well. Then if your downlines will see that, will notice that as well, the influence will start to go down. So we as a leaders, we have this responsibility to continuously move, to continuously grow every single year. If we can make one rank advancement every single year, then let's go. Because we grow our influence, the more we show to our people that we are continuously growing, right? Francis Kong is saying basically, if you are not growing, you're dying. And it's very important. We as leaders, our responsibility is to continuously grow, to continuously inspire people and then lead them in the direction that we want, to continuously create results. That's part of our business, guys. Right? Results is just the proof that you are growing in knowledge, skills, mindset, and character, and relationship. And that's very important. As you grow these things, your influence will basically grow. And as your influence goes up and grow, then your leadership will basically grow. You will see that you can create more impact in many people as well. Your words is now more powerful. The way you talk to them is now more power because of these things that you have. So it's all start with us. That's why it's very important. Growing ourselves first, or growing our influence first in Usana. So intentional leadership helps us to jump from BC to the be director in just 1 year and a half. Right? This is what I'm telling you. And the reason why I'm sharing you this, because this can change your life in the next any 2 years, any 5 years, like what Jim Rohn is saying, can really change your life. If you will be intentional from now on, you will decide from now on. After this wonderful training by Jonathan Yabut, and I hope you get something from this one as well. If you can apply these things, any 2 years, any 5 years can significantly change your business, because this is what happened to us. As we grow ourselves in terms of skills, mindset, character, and then results, basically, we became Ruby director in 16 months time, right? This could happen. I'm not promising that it could happen, but if you do the right thing, right? And start being intentional right now, this could be the reward, right? Then we became stuck for 1 year. Amazing. So we became stuck in 1 year until we learned the part 2. I remember this time now, I was like, me and my wife is earning this $10,000 every single month in Usana. And then we were stuck in 1 year. To be honest with you guys, this is the time that I'm thinking like, what do I need to do? I know in myself that I need to learn something for me to advance, right? Whatever results that I have right now is because of who I am. If I will not grow, then my income will not basically grow. And for some reasons, I saw this book, Developing the Leaders Around You by John Maxwell. And that helped us basically to learn the how-tos of growing the leaders in Usana, in our organizations, and then help us to basically grow our business as well. Okay, so there are 3 stages in growing your leaders. Okay, first you have to recruit them. That's the first one. It's not part of 3 stages. Of course, you cannot grow leaders without them being part of your organizations. We all need to continuously sponsor people, right? But after we sponsor them, right, these are the 3 stages that we need to do. First is nurturing. What is nurturing? We have to let them understand the why behind Usana, why they are doing Usana, why this is beneficial to many people as well, mostly, okay, to many people as well, who are pursuing time, money, and then health as well, right? What are we, what are the value that we could add to many people as well, the impact that we could create in the lives of many, in Filipinos, in Thailand, and also in Indonesia. What this opportunity basically, it can help them to get their goals in life, right? Understanding the why, because the how will follow if they understand the why. They're not gonna do the how unless they will understand first the why. Why do I have to do this? So my Sir Jonathan is Jonathan Yabut example lately, right? We have to answer the question why they have to do Usana. Why we're doing all these things? Why we're sacrificing all this time? Why do I have to do 15 hours, 20 hours a day in Usana, a week in Usana? Why do I have to attend all these trainings? You have to nurture them, because by letting them understand the why, it's easier for them to do all these things because they understand why. And that's very important. I think in all the basic training and NDO, this should be the first thing that we should address, because we're so concerned how people will be active, right? Address this why, and then people will be active, right? There's a big chance that they will be more active, making them understand the why they have to do Usana. Encouragement, because they're just new in the business. You have to you have to believe in them that they can do the business. You have to believe in them that they are, you know, destined for something as well. That you used to be ordinary and they can do it as well. Because a lot of people basically became successful in this industry. You have to encouragement. Words and encouragement are very powerful. I remember this time, no, when my upline Ed Miguel, shout out to my upline Edward Miguel, my mentor as well. When I was starting, that was 2009, and I was so down because I don't have prospects to talk to, and then some of my prospects that I talk about the business, I share the business to them, did not sign up, right? And we are commuting going home, and then my upline told me like, "Hey Nat, you remember our upline from Malaysia?" So I look up to this guy. I forgot their name. I look up to them, and they're big inspiration to me. And then my upline told me, they said to me to take care of you. And then I was like, why? And then he said like this, because he said you have this big potential and you have this big chance to become successful, that you are meant for something great. That encouragement until now is in my mind. And because of that, I believe what he said. And then in my mind, I have these thoughts like, I will make sure that what they said is basically right. I will prove them right, not wrong. Right? That encouragement basically helped me to basically pursue more, grow more myself because of that. Someday, I will be this leader that they are hoping me to be. And encouragement is very powerful. Caring and building relationship is very important. These are the first stages, okay? Nurturing part. Because you cannot teach them, equip them without them wanting you, without them liking you as well, or without building relationship. Have you tried talking and then training your leaders as well and you don't have any relationship with them? Right? You're just wasting your time. But those people who have this, you have great relationship, basically they so want to listen to you. They want to hear you. They want you to mentor them, right? Because you have this great relationship with them. So relationship is very important, caring and building relationship. The second thing is basically equipping, right? You have to equip them. Like Sir Jonathan is basically saying, if they have this great task and very low skills, basically, they're going to be in this anxiety zone, right? If you have this, and also same thing, if you have these great skills and very low goals, basically they're gonna be bored. So it's very important before you let them go, before they move in the next level of leadership, basically you have to equip them. Do they have the right skills, right? Equipping them with the right skills. Do they know the basic training, the things that we need to do, the daily method of operations? Because these are the things that they need for them themselves basically grow their influence. It makes sense? That's why you have to teach them. If they grow their skills, they grow their mindset, okay, they grow their influence. If they grow their influence, then you can let them lead the organizations as well. That is the key. The first one is developing yourself, and then the second thing is developing others around you. And this is equipping part. You have to equip them with the right skill, not just telling them, oh, you go and lead, without equipping them the right skill as well. Right? Second thing is the right mindset and philosophies, just like what I told you, right? Mindset and philosophies in the business or blueprint is very important. How you see things, right? What is the entrepreneur mindset? Because a lot of people want to make money, but they don't want work. They think like, if I just want the money, I just want the results, but they 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 don't want to work. They don't want hard work. They don't want sacrifices. They don't understand why there's some rejections. They don't understand why there's some failures. They don't understand why there's some attritions. The right philosophies and mindset in business is very important. I always tell to my downlines, whether you like it or not, no matter how good you are in doing this business, there will be a lot of people that will really give up in this business. That is 70%. Based on the data, the 70%. So what do we need to do? Don't mind them. Just focus on those people who will stay and then sponsor more people. You are just looking for people as someone like you that will really pursue their dreams. Because a lot of people just dreaming, and they don't want to put some work to really get their dreams as well. This is very important, right? Don't mind them. If people will ask me, upline, I have so many sponsors already, but a lot of them is basically is not doing the business. That's okay, as long as you did your part, right? That's okay, because 70% will basically just quit and you will just be a user of the business, and that's okay. And you're gonna ask why. Don't mind them. Just focus on those who will stay, and just continue to look for people just same like you as well. If you have that kind of mindset that every time we share the business opportunity of Usana, we're just looking for people who have these big names, then it's much simpler to do the business for us. Not so much heartache, because we don't expect everyone would basically join our business. Because if you are expecting everyone would join your business, you are setting up yourself with so many disappointments. The truth is, not everyone will join your business. If everyone will join the business, no one will be in the restaurant and will take care of your food. No one will be in the airlines that will take care of you in the airplane, right? No one will be in the travel agency that will basically help you to travel the world. So not everyone's for Usana. You're just looking for those people who will really appreciate this, and they can see this opportunity in line with their goals as well. And once we see that, then we have to focus our time with them. I hope you guys are learning. Can you type yes, Thailand and Indonesia, if you're still learning, and if I'm still clear? So thank you. Okay. And the third one, the last one, is basically developing. Okay, this is where you need to give them space. This is where you need to let them grow as well. You see, this is not the first stage. This is the third stage for a reason, because you have to nurture them first, making them understand why they have to do all these things, why they have to go through all these challenges and all these trainings as well, making them understand, educating them. That's the right word, educating them, right? Not trying to manipulate them, just educating them. You know, I know a lot of people basically are negative in this opportunity, not because they are negative, because they are misinformed and uninformed. Same thing with our leaders. A lot of people basically don't want to go to the next level, not because they don't want to go, because they are misinformed. They don't know why. So you have to make them understand. Second thing, equip them with the right skills. So that, the third stage, you can develop them. You can give them the opportunity for growth, right? Let them lead the organization. Give them the spotlight. Let them lead their own group. And the most important thing, respect their leadership style. Just like what Jonathan Yabut is basically saying, your way is not the only way, right? You have to be open for feedbacks as well, right? There's no one person is smarter than everybody. I learned that. Every time I make the decision on my own, in my own leadership, in my own group, most of the time, I have good news. Most of the time, it fails. But every time I get the feedback of my leaders, respect them, and then think from it, brainstorm from it, most of the time, I have had a better decision, right? You have to understand, you have to respect them. They have to make them feel that they are part of the team as well. So they can have the confidence, basically. They will go out of their shell. They have this psychological safety. Yeah, just like what Jonathan is basically saying, psychological safety, that they could lead without somebody is basically, you will judge them or will be mad at them as well. Because you will be surprised. There's a lot of people is better than you. Is better than you. And always think this, you have nothing to prove as a leader, but you have everything to improve. Always think about that, right? And these are the 3 stages of growing your leaders as well. I hope you learned something. So what are the benefits of intentional leadership? You will have great influence, which is very important. It's very crucial as well. If you have this big influence with your kids, they will easily listen to you. So a lot of parents basically don't have this great influence because they didn't spend the time of nurturing, equipping, and then developing. That's why they don't have great influence. Or maybe they themselves basically did not become a great role model, right? You can aspire people to move even in directions they're not comfortable, but it's the right thing, right? A lot of leaders are like this, right? So they want they just need a leader that would really inspire them and tell them, hey, we can move from point A to point B. You can do it. I believe in you, right? Because you get the rank, and then you can teach them how to get the rank. That's why we always go first, so we can teach them how to get that rank. Okay, increase productivity. Who among you wants increased productivity? Say me, right? If you increase your productivity, basically, it will improve the points. It will improve the organizations as well. And if you increase productivity, it will increase your results. Who wants increased results, right? Here's what I noticed. If you are very good network marketer, you develop the skills, mindset, and everything, you can get at some point. I made it to a Ruby director that time because I'm very good in presenting. I'm very good in. I have a good mindset, right? I have a good character during that time. But from there, that's the plateau already. For me to go into higher level, I have to develop leaders under my organizations, right? And that's where duplication happens, the leadership factory, and it will increase your results, okay, and lower down the anxiety as well. And you can make a great impact in the lives of many, which is very, very important. And that's why I'm getting emotional when I start this, because the impact that Usana gave into our life and other people's, as I hear their testimony and how they made money in Usana to create a good life for their family. And I want you to always go back in that we know that we are not just doing Usana for the sake of money. We know money is very important because this can do a lot of things basically to help a lot of people as well, right? So you're familiar with eulogy, right? Eulogy, when you passed away, and then your loved ones, basically your friends as well, will tell good things about you. That's eulogy. So I want you to create a living eulogy. So there's additional motivation for us. And you ask this question to yourself. You make sure you do this after the talk, okay? So what do you want your loved ones, your friends, or those people who are closest to you tell you when you leave this earth? So at some point you will realize, no, the things that you need to focus. We don't have all the time in this world, guys, to do a lot of things. As we grow older, I realize a focused life is a powerful life. Right? I want to be a dancer. I want to be a basketball player. I want to do a lot of things. But I realize now that, as we grow older, we have to realize if you focus your life, you will create more impact. A focused life is a powerful life. So here's my questions. What do you want your loved ones, your friends, or those people who are closest to you will tell you if you leave this earth? And what do you want them to remember you about? Or what do you want them to remember about you? You can say in this name. You can mention your name like this. Siguro in living eulogy, you can mention like this. Every time I remember Nat Sunio, I I remember inspiration. I remember a guy who had this a very good heart and had this passion to really help a lot of people to make a living through the opportunity of Usana. So they can have more options and more convenient in life and to create an impact in the lives of many. Every time you say your name, every time you say your name, I want to remember a very loving leader or create a huge impact in the lives of many people, not only Usana, but even outside Usana. So what do you want to be remembered about? Okay. This will help you to have motivations and to have these clear directions in your life as well. So as I end, this is exciting. These are the 6 first gold director of Usana Philippines. 6 first gold director of Usana. The 6 accounts. This is the first gold director of Usana Philippines. And this is the first ever leadership, how do you call this? Leadership Summit. Gold Retreat, sorry. Gold Retreat. Okay? So that's this is in Perth, Australia. That was 2009. The first 6 gold directors of Usana. So you screenshot, okay, this one. And why is this important? Because as of today, we have 37 diamonds. That's only under my organizations. Okay, Usana Philippines have more because I can only run my own organization. So Diamond and Star Diamond Directors 37 just under my organizations. Imagine the whole Usana Philippines, the line of Romel Balaguer, Rob Rances, and then Ranel Blanco. Imagine that they are not part of this one yet. Okay, I have 27 Emerald Directors under my organizations. I have 122 rubies who are making $10,000 every single month. Gold 641. But here's the best part. From builder who are earning $200 to maybe about $2,000 or $3,000 every single month, there's a 19,000 distributor. Guys, $200 in the Philippines is 40,000 a month. It's better than most people are earning here. And then this can really create an impact in the lives of many. That kids can study, They can have more options. They can have more convenience. So think about this. Can you imagine the impact that could create of one person, of one leader as well? Anyway, these are not all credit to me because I did not directly train all of this as well. But this we can impact them directly or indirectly. The point is basically you develop yourself, then you can create an impact to the lives of many, directly or indirectly. But what I want to emphasize is how many people can change life because of this opportunity. Because someone like you step up and be intentional in their leadership to create an impact to many as well and become a good role model, right? I just want to honor this one, Manduday. He's the leader of Usana for the past 11 years. We've been through a lot. We created so many diamond directors. We created so many MDCs because of her leadership. I, I cannot really imagine if there would be like this many diamond directors, this many ruby or emerald directors, if not with her leadership. It could have been a different story if she is not the one who's leading the whole Philippines as well. I'm really saying this in my heart because I witnessed how this lady sacrificed, how this lady worked hard, how this lady set aside her personal ambition, time with family, right? Flying to all and being with all the gold. Can you imagine being with all the gold directorship retreat and leadership summit in the Philippines as well, and time away with the family as well? And the reason why she can do that, because she has this vision to change the lives of many here in the Philippines and wants to create an impact. If not with her, there will be no middle club member in the Philippines. Not so many silver directors who somehow have this good income to provide, and all the corporate staff as well, all their staff. I mean, I would just think about retiring, changing their tires because we have more goals and we have more people to help too. I just want to honor you guys, Ma'am Duda, and all the corporate team here in the Philippines as well, and even in Thailand and Indonesia, who is doing their part leading. You know, leadership is not just about the distributors. Without them, basically, we're not gonna reach the height of the success that we have right now without these people. I remember the time. I remember the time that I was so down and I was so overwhelmed as a leader. I'm just being honest with you guys because this could happen to you as well. The most important person in your organization is you. So mentally, emotionally, and physically, you should be okay. Because if not, you can transfer it to your downlines. You could transfer it to your distributor. We can say that your team would be paralyzed if you are paralyzed. I called her during my time of that. Without hesitation, she came into my house and basically coached me with the things that you need to do, or maybe listen. She listened most of the time to all my concerns as well, and I really appreciate that. She inspired me to work and to continue. She made me realize what are the reasons of all these stories as well, and why God put me here in Usana. So I want you to see yourself as well, and how many people you could influence because of your leadership. And it's about time for you to make that decision, right? It says here the great leadership usually starts with a willing heart, a positive attitude, and a desire to make a difference. You know, the greatest motivations that we could have to continuously lead and start growing ourselves is love. If you really love those people around you, investing in yourself will not only improve yourself, but will also improve the lives of those around you. Will also improve the lives of those who you want to help as well. That's the greatest motivation. The love to make a difference in the lives of many as well, in many other ways. So I hope you learned a lot today. And just want to appreciate all the corporate we had time. Just text them, message them, so they could be continuously inspired and change their time because we have more goals to do. So thank you guys, and then God bless.
There you go. Thank you very much, Mr. Natsunyo, our executive force, our diamond directors. Since you mentioned thank you for all of us, then again, thank you for allowing us to do what we do. And to everybody, thank you for allowing us really do what we do. And we really do appreciate all the efforts that you guys are doing. And as we promised, we are going to be with you until the end. And there's no end yet. All right. So, Ivy, I know you are, I mean, you shed tears a while back learning about Nat's story. And I know a lot of you guys are really inspired, not only with the story of not the way his looking at the application of doing all these things, but of course, learning from Jonathan Yabut as well. And to cap the presentation this afternoon, we'll be having someone. Unfortunately, our RVP cannot join us this morning, but we have someone have who have been really a great inspiration to a lot of Filipino distributors as well, and who have helped a lot of distributors around the world in so many aspects. So please welcome the Usana Philippines General Manager, Miss Cherry Ampig. Hi, Miss Cherry.
Hi, thank you everyone. Thank you to the 1,000 people who were on the Zoom call. I think there were more, of course, hundreds from Thailand and Indonesia, and almost 600 on our FB Live. I'm still emotional, Nat, from that talk from start to finish. And my emotions I just really stayed with you all through that. And also, of course, thank you to Jonathan Yabut. And we all share the same love for Boss Duday. Boss Duday has also been my mentor for the past 2 decades, okay, 20 years together with the best mentor that I can ever have in my life. So thank you, Boss Duday. She's not on. She left because she has a very important appointment. So I'm closing this on her behalf. Again, I don't know how to express thank you. I cannot say thank you enough for the sharing that you, Nath, and Jonathan have done for this afternoon. I have some key takeaways that I have here. And one of that is that we need to be very intentional in all our efforts to thrive in these most challenging times. I know um, at first when this happened, we were scared. Actually, we were very scared. We didn't know what to do as well, and we were all thinking of ways on how to be able to continue the business. Being the general manager of a market like Philippines, which is a huge market, it was one of, I think, the most stressful part of my life to be able to wake up every day like it's a waking decision every day, to be able to make the right decision for everyone, because a lot of people depends on their livelihood depends on Usana. And and every time that we are asked, or the country leaders were asked, how we were able to succeed in a way, and I would always tell them it's really because of the support that we got from all of you. I mean, the most important part here is your adaptability. You were able to just simply adapt to all these changes that happened during the past several months. And I know there's a lot to learn, to adapt, to adjust, and fine tune if necessary. And you were with us all through these times. And as a result, most of the markets of Asia Pacific has been really growing tremendously. In fact, the Philippines alone has been growing 50% over last year. So again, thank you so much for that. And I think the most important part before I end is the importance of collaboration. I think the collaboration is not just simply among teams, ba? It's also among the countries here in Asia Pacific. Like on this call, for example, we have Thailand, we have Indonesia, Malaysia, we have Taiwan. People are listening to all of you, and we are all learning from one another. And I think the platform of being online has been very, very in total advantage to our business. So thank you so much. Again, continue to be adaptable. Yeah, to this very changing environment. I'm sure there will still be a lot of fine tuning that's going to happen, and continue to collaborate with one another. You have the best support, your leaders, and rest assured, we are not going to retire yet. Okay, or we're going to stay with you in to continue the vision of Usana. So thank you, and have the rest of the afternoon po sa inyong lahat. And thank you, Tere Makasi, Kapungka. I didn't say that right, I'm sorry. But have a good afternoon, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cherry. And once again, on behalf of Sana Philippines, thank you for joining us this morning, not only from the Philippines, from Indonesia and Thailand as well. But then again, before we go, let me just tell you that on October 29, we're going to have the fourth installment of our Sustaining Momentum series, and it's called Passion and Power. And with this particular topic, we'll be featuring two great passionate, powerful leaders. And we have one from Batangas. We have Executive One-Star Diamond Director, Dr. Edu Bolaños. And the Pride of Cebu, we have Executive Four-Star Diamond Director, Ranel Blanco. So Ivy, is there anything you would like to say before we go?
Yes, I would like to thank everyone for their participation and their cooperation, and of course to our two amazing speakers, really great leaders in their own industries, in their own fields, and thank you so much for unselfishly sharing your time and effort to everyone here in this call right now. And of course, to the team, thank you so much for supporting Leo and I in this training session. That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we heard a lot from our speakers and even from Mom Cherry. And as I always say, these things are just there for you to apply. Okay, so please do not leave them in your notes. Go out today, or go out online rather, not in your hand, not from your houses, and do something about the dreams, the hopes, the goals that you that were inspired today from our speakers. Okay. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Leo?
There you go. And once again, on behalf of the entire Usana family, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you. Maraming salamat po. Terima kasih, Kapkun Krab. Have a safe day, everybody.